and everyone. I am Mischief, and I'll show you a little bit about hand movement. First, let me get situated. Okay. So this is an exercise that we did at Fun with All Puppets to sort of just help us learn about puppet handling. And so first of all, you guys probably know this, but wherever the puppet's nose is where you're looking. So if you can't see their eyes, but you can see their nose from where you are, it's a good indicator to know where they're going. And so you can go forward like you see an object, reach your hand up to grab it toward you, look at it, decide you don't want it, discard it. And so, see an object, move forward, reach up, grab it to you, take a look at it, discard it. That's that simple exercise. Another tip is to just make sure that you're holding your puppet hands so that they're facing out, so that your puppet looks alive instead of limp like this. That's another thing. I think one thing that I like to do for using two hands is you can have different positions. Like I'm kind of holding them like chopsticks. So this her right hand, I'm just holding the rod stiff so that I can move the left hand independently. Like if I wanted to point at something, or mess with her hair, or pick her nose, whatever I wanted to do. And then you can also just kind of hang one up, switch to the other hand, and it's just a twisting of the rod that moves it. So you can just practice moving your hand forward like this, up and down, and then twisting it this way. Moves the arm up and down vertically. Oh, there you go, there you go, awesome. And then, obviously there's also the way that we've done those rods. You've got the corks at the bottom, so if you want to do something big like, hooray, I'm cheering about something, you can hold them at the bottom. Or if you wanted to do something more close motion, like laughing, you can hold them close. So yeah, that's the biggest thing that I like to do, is just switch the positions. And, and you can just sort of, like I said, hold them like chopsticks, and then just switch the positions of the rods to however you need them to be. And I don't think it necessarily looks bad to just take a second to switch everything while you're getting your new position.
You're gonna have obviously like some black gloves and everything, so it kind of meshes together.
That's pretty much what it is. Like what I would do is be in all black myself, have a veil on so that the audience can't see my face, and then black gloves so that, the black rods tend to blend in with your black hands, and so then everything is black.
Is there an appropriate way, if you are working with just one hand, what to do with that other hand?
Yeah.
I know we mentioned tacking it before, but
you could totally, like if you had a piece of Velcro for those, so you could just hang it up, that's what I think would be preferable, because then it wouldn't just be flapping in the wind. Or like with Brownie thing, for example, if you could always just put his arm around you and then one hand it. Or if you're by a table or something, just lay the other hand down so that it's on something solid, and then just gesturing with one. Like, it's mainly just getting in a position so that it doesn't look just like that. Because like in Berwyn Avenue, we had the porches, and so what we would do is just hang our puppet hand up on a porch, and then just use the wand to do whatever we needed to do. And I'll show an example of, like, if you want to have a prop of something, like let's say Mischief is going to have a cup of tea, and this cork is her tea. You can just pick it up like this, get the hand positioned so that she's holding her cup of tea, and then, isn't that nice? If you want them to clap, this is my only way of telling you to do it. It's like, so I hold one rod between my pinky and my thumb, and the other rod between my index finger and my middle finger. And then it takes a lot of practice, actually, to get them to clap together.
I just dropped my tuna roll.
Done.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's gonna
Is clapping is really hard. It's one of the hardest things. And actually, the lower you can get your hands on the rods to do it, the better it looks. But like I said, clapping is perhaps the hardest thing. And then other simple things, like I said before, what I like to do for her with laughing is just cover her mouth and then shake her up and down so she's laughing, or and crying.
So, I mean, I'm assuming this might be a basic question. But
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the more exaggerated you get with them.
Absolutely,
Because nobody
the better.
really cries like that, but I think it reads better.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
because
so just try to be as exaggerated as possible with. Like,
I think about them like they're a cartoon. So
Okay.
everything is huge. Everything is like, oh God, it's so tragic. Or, oh darling, it's delightful to have you here. Very, very grand. Or like if they're laughing, like their whole body shakes instead of just, you know.
Do you have any tips for how to be conscious about eye focus and like focal points?
Yeah. With him, all I can really see from here is the top of his eyebrows. So I'm trying to focus the middle of his eyebrows to whoever I am looking at. And then it seems like his eyes are further to the top of his head, so I'm trying to keep him like this. So he looks like he's looking at you directly. Because I think the tendency is to do this, and then they look like they're looking up.
Yeah.
Another thing too, I noticed too working with these puppets is when you talk with them, a lot of people's hand wants to naturally go like this. So the head is going to the sky. You want to talk with your thumb.
Yep.
So the thumb needs to go down like this.
All thumb.
And basically you're kind of almost looking at the floor.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're talking to the sky like that because your hand naturally wants to go back like that. So you really got to work your thumb in order to talk to everybody out there.
That's right. And you know what? That is a good thing about looking at the floor too, because your upper hand is gonna move a little bit naturally. So if you're looking a little bit down, that keeps his head, his eyes up. And that's why that elastic is so important too, because it lets you do more with your thumb and keep the top still.
Yeah.
Pop, pop, pop. Oh yeah. So if he's down like this, I just thumb to this one, fingers to this one, ready to go.
Because I know it looks easier than I don't think I was holding it. So you had thumb.
Do you do that with your pinky?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Okay.
So yeah, so just let him go, and then I do thumb to this one, finger to this one. Sorry, he's long. And then there you go, and then you can just move him around. Yeah, and like I like the technique too of like, especially once these corks are painted black. Like if you wanted to, you're holding both rods, but you want to gesture with one hand. Move one hand close to their body, and then you can point with his other hand, or put his hand on his head, or in his mouth, or whatever he needs to do. So it gives you a little bit of movement right there without having to hang this one up. It's a monster party. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, and yeah, like I said, you could like with that holding one toward the body and then using the other one out. You can do that with it with the long rods, or like I said, moved up close. You could switch it to this side.
And I'm wondering too, like even if we had to, like for larger scenes and stuff, like if
Yeah.
you're focusing more, like you could always have somebody else, like.
Oh, absolutely. And then you could just do the head. Hello. Yeah, with anything super complicated, like if they were boxing, take that. Yeah. Fuck you. Get out of my way. And you know the other thing too, because I know that there's the idea of like them being below the table, and in that case, your middle finger is basically where his eyes are. So if you're looking around, you can know that your middle finger is like the middle of their nose. What do you think, Bob? Am I looking at you right now?
To flick off the audience.
Pretty much,
Constantly.
you're flicking off the audience. It's a great way to think of it. Oh yeah.